Greetings, it's Iain from RTO here. Welcome to Marathon Ranking Day, and today is probably the hardest one that I have tackled. I don't know much about this band whatsoever, and I think this is one of Zeb's. So this was a first time listening. I'd never listened to any of their stuff. I've heard of them, but what freaks me out is the experimental rock, and that's why I've never really listened to them. But this was a first and probably only time I will ever listen to the Swans. You know, we can't like everything, and this is one of them occasions when I'm not very keen on this band whatsoever. No disrespect for Seb, and thank you, Seb, for asking for this. This is what it's all about. Sending me down rabbit holes. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. So, the Swans are an experimental rock band that were formed in 1981 by Michael Gira. And it was one of the acts to emerge from New York-based no wave scene and stay intact for the next decade. Swans have been recognised for their ever-changing sound. Well, that is correct. I did learn that. Noise rock, post-punk, industrial and post-rock. They had Jarbone, who's a singer. She is one of the mainstays in the band. They've had lots of people coming through the band. So there are 16 albums. So let's get cracking on. So, equal 16th is the debut album released in 1983 called Filth. It's Michael Gira on bass guitar, vocals, Jonathan Cain on drums, Rolly Mosiman on drums, Norman Westberg on guitar, Harry Crosby bass, you got Sonder Anderson on mechanicals, saxophone Daniel Garney, Jonathan Tresser electronics, and Bob Pezzer on guitar. So, right, I'm just going to go through the tracks here. Stay Here, Big Strong Boss, Blackout, Power Freak, Right, Wrong, Thank You, Weakling and Gang. I'm sorry, I just didn't find this musical at all. It's just loads of noises. Personally, I just didn't get on with this album. Okay, also coming in at equal 16th is the second album from 1984, Cop. This has got Michael Gira, Harry Crosby, Norman Westberg and Rolly Mosiman. Tracks on here are Half-Life, Job, Why Hide, Clayman, Your Property, Cop, Butcher and Thug. Once again, I didn't like any of the tracks on this album. There was nothing here that really caught my eye. Also coming in at equal 16th, Holy Money from 1986. We got the first time Jarbo comes on the side. We got Aglis Kisses on bass with Harry Crosby, Ronald Gonzalez on drums, Ted Parsons and Ivan Nahum. A Hanging, You Need Me, Fool number 2, A Screw, Holy Money, Another You, Money Is Flesh number 2, and Coward. Once again, I didn't like this album. It was just full of noises, dirge. I struggled with it all the way through. Okay, another one at equal 16th. This just never happened. It's the third album from 86, Greed. We've got Michael Gira, Jarbo, Norman Westberg, Harry Crosby, Ronaldo Gonzalez, Ted Parsons and Ivan Nathan. We got Fool on here, Anything for You, Nobody, Stupid Child, Greed, Heaven and Money Is Flesh. I may have upset a lot of Swans fans here, but these four albums are just I couldn't get on with them. I just found them pointless. I know this is my opinion, but I know there's people out there that will probably pull their hair out, but I couldn't. there's nothing musical about these albums. So these 4 albums, I can't rank them. They're 0 out of 10 because I just didn't get on with them. I really didn't. I tried my hardest. I kept going back and I couldn't even get through them in the end. It was about, I just started just skipping through, seeing if there's anything on these albums, and it wasn't. So unfortunately they all get a 0 out of 10. So coming in at number 12 is the 15th album from 2019, Leaving Meaning. We got Michael Gira, Christoph Hahn on lap steel guitar, Larry Mullins drums, Yoko Rom on bass, and previous swans on here are Thor Harris, Christopher Pravakika, Filth. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through tracks I actually like. So the first one is a 2-minute thing called Hums. I like this. It's got some atmosphere. It's the shortest track on the album. Now the rest of the tracks on disc 1 are Aladdin, The Hanging Man, Amnesia, Leaving Meaning, some, excuse my French, Sunfucker. Again, they just didn't do anything for me. Disc 2, we got Cathedrals of Heaven, The Nub, Is It Really Coming? Something's New. This isn't bad. It resembles something like a tune. What Is This? And Phantom Limb. I mean, these are my personal opinions. It's not the gospel truth, but I just found this a boring. I didn't like the vocal delivery on this album. There's 3 or 4 tracks here are 10 minutes long, and I just didn't get it. But the couple I did like are pretty decent. There's something there, so I'm going to give that one an RTO ranking of 2.5. Okay, coming in at number 11, we have the 5th album, released in 1987, Children of God, Michael Gira, Jarbone, Neil Westberg, Agis Kizzes, Theodore Parsons, Simon Fraser on flutes, Audrey Riley on cello, Lindsay Cooper on the oboe, and Wilton Barhart on piano. Nevermind. Yeah. In My Garden. Now, I like this. I think it's got some atmosphere and it's got some structure. I actually did like that track. Love, Our Love Lies, Sex, God, Sex, Blood, Honey, Like a Drug, Shalala, You're Not a Real Girl, and Beautiful Child are just, yeah, it's just the same as, there's nothing there that really I could listen to. But Blackmail, I don't mind this track. It's got Jarbone's got a lovely vocal on this. It's wonderful, and there's some wonderful piano on it. It's when they do these simple songs, it's great. It's a nice atmospheric track. Trust Me, Real Love, Blind Love, and Children of Blind Love. Again, it's just I couldn't listen to. Children of God is good. It's the best bit of this though is the Jarbone's harmony background vocals. Yeah, it was pretty good. We've got 3 good songs on this album, and the rest of it is just yuck. So I'm going to give that an RTO ranking of 3 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 10, we have the 16th album. It was released in 2023, and it is The Beggar. This has got Michael Gira, Christoph Hahn, Larry Mullins, Dana Schechter, Christopher Pravika, Phil Pulio, other musicians on here, Ben Frost on guitar, Jennifer Gira, Lucy Kruger, Laura Carberm, and Norman Westberg. The Parasite, not a fan of that one. Paradise Is Mine. Los Angeles, City Hears Death. I quite like this. I think Michael's delivery of the vocal, there's a little bit of structure, not a bad track actually. Michael Is Done. Again, I do like this one. It's got some nice little touches on it, and it was quite listenable. Unforming wasn't though. The Beggar. it's a long track. The bit in the middle is pretty cool, but the rest of it is dull. No more this and the ebbing. Why can't I have what I want anytime I want? Not very good. Disc 2, we got the Beggar Lover 3. It's 43 minutes of nothing. And the Memorious was the last track. Okay, it has got again some good little tracks on it, but that Beggar Lover 3, it's just a pointless exercise. I can't even find. I was trying to find it. What it's got to do with music. It's got nothing to do with music in my books. I know I'm probably going to be hated for saying this, but I just don't get this. Okay, coming in at number 9, we have the Seer, which is the 12th album from 2012. Doesn't say who's on this, but we've got Lunacy featuring Alan Sparrowhawk and Mimi Parker. Quite good. I like the eerie backing vocals. It's quite scary. It's very good. Mother of the World. This is a nice little bit of music. The piano on this is fantastic. I'd really like that track. The Wolf and the Seer. Oof. The Seer Returns that featured Jarbo. It's not bad. Her contribution to it is okay. 93 Avenue Blues. It's a bit dirgy. Not for me. The Daughter Brings the Water. Not too bad. There's some nice acoustic guitar on that, and I can cope with that. Song for a Warrior. Nah, not for me. Avatar, certainly one of the better songs on this, and I like this. It's got it has got some structure. A Piece of the Sky. It features Jarbo and Akron Family. The bits that Jarbo sings are good. I think she's got a great voice, but the rest of the track is just pointless, and the apostate, it's just bad. This is hard work. This album, there's bits on this album I like and bits I don't. If I put all together, I think there's about the whole album. There's about 10 minutes of music on here that I actually liked. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 4 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 8, we've got the 13th album from 2014, To Be Kind. So we've got Michael Gira on this, Christopher Ham on lap steel, Thor Harris drums, Christopher Pravidika is on here, Phil Pulio is, Norman Westberg, Bill Reffin. So the first track is Screenshot. Now I think this is good. Okay, the vocal is a little bit repetitive, but I like the delivery of this. It is really, really good. It's a strong track. Pretty decent. Just a Little Boy. Too long. Boring. A Little God in My Hand. Doesn't do anything for me. But then we got Bring the Sun and Toussaint L'Ouverture. This is quite good. I think this has got a little bit more to it. It's 34 minutes long, but it's got stages. Not all the same note, not the same dirge. It's a proper piece of music, and I actually don't mind it. It's pretty good, you know. Probably one of the first long songs that I actually thought, God, this is not too bad. Some Things We Do, I didn't like that. She Loves You, Kirsten Supplying Oxygen, and Nathan Neal and To Be Kind just does nothing for me. There's some 2 highlights on this. The overture is pretty impressive, but the rest of it just meanders. I mean, some of the tracks, it just sounds it's just about 3 or 4 ideas just put together in a very disjointed way. So I'm going to give that an RTO ranking of 5 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 7 from 2016, the 14th album, The Glowing Man. So this is Michael, Christoph, Thor, Christopher, Phil, Norman, Bill again. The first track on here is Cloud of Forgetting. This is pretty interesting. It's got some little bits on there that are worth listening to, but there are some bits that are not. Cloud of Unknowing is just 25 minutes that I can't get back of my life. Then we have The World Looks Red, The World Looks Back. There are 2 bits of this, and it's really good how they've done it. There's some nice backing vocals on this. It's like the good and the bad. I like what they did with that. I was quite impressed with that. People Like Us. But my favourite track on here is, I think, called When I'll Return, because Frankie M is just 20 minutes of dirge. I'm not quite sure who the female vocal on this is. I don't know if it's Jarbo or not, but it really works. It's a lovely little song. The Glowing Longer. I think this has got a little bit of like that space rock feel to it. I do like this. There's a nice speaking word in it. Find the Peace. The drumming on this is pretty good. It's got a nice atmospheric track. There's a lot more gone into this track, and I really enjoyed it. Now, I think this is one of the better albums. I actually do like a lot of these tracks. But the dirgy ones do plod. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 5.3. Okay, coming in at number 6, 10th album from 1996, Soundtracks for the Blind. We have got Michael and Jarbo on this, Joe Goldring on the guitars, Vuldy electric guitar, Larry Mullins on the drums. We've got Chris Force on viola. The first track on here is called Red Velvet Corridor. Love this. Some lovely textures on this. It's atmospheric, and I do like that. Very, very good. I Was a Prisoner in Your Skull. It's a weird track, but in the middle bit it sounds like the Clangers. Love that sort of thing. Helpless Child. Really nice track. One of the best track on here. It's got a flowing piece of music. It's 15 minutes long. There's lots of different tones and sounds. Some nice vocals on it, especially from Jarbo. It works well. Live Through Me. I don't mind this one again. It's one of the shorter pieces. I think the shorter pieces by this band are much better. Then we go into some tracks I just didn't get on with at all, and I didn't like them. We've got Yum Yab Killers, The Beautiful Days, Volcano. It's got some nice little bits from Jarbo. Mellotherm, all lined up. Surrogate 2, very short, pointless. How They Suffer. Animus is just too long and boring. And then we got Red Velvet Sound. It's okay. The Sound. Her Mouth is Filled with Honey. It's alright. Blood Section. One of the shorter tracks, but it's got a real powerful guitar riff on it. Hypo Girl's okay. Minus Something, not okay. Empathy, I Love You This Much, YRP. Fans Lament, Secret Friends is a track I do like. It's some nice acoustic guitars on it. The keyboard sounds really scary. Then we have The Final Sacrifice, a long dirgy piece. YRP2, short, sweet. Surrogate Drone. A lot of filler on this album for me. I want to put this number 1, but Surrogate Drone is just a drone, and I couldn't listen to it after 2 minutes. But I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 5.5. Okay, coming in at number 5, we've got the 11th album from 2010, My Father Will Guide Me Up the Rope to the Sky. So this has got Michael Gira, Thor Harris, Christopher Pravaga, Phil Fooley and Norman Westberg. The first track on here is a little number called Madeline, No Words and No Thoughts. I really like this. My favourite track on this. Love the bells on this. I was really into this. Good track. Reeling the Liars In. Really good. It's got this Russian sort of folk music to it. Jim, I love the bass line. I do like that. It's just a really great little bass line. Really adds to the track, and I don't mind it. My Birth, not too bad this one either. Listenable. And I'll excuse my French on this because there's a bit of swearing. It's called "You Fucking People Make Me Sick." I like the mandolin. It's quite cheerful as well. It's pretty good. Inside mandolin, a bit dreary, the vocal is, but musically it sounds great. I do like that. Eden Prison, the deadpan vocal is okay. The music's pretty impressive as well. And Little Mouth, it's okay. This is an album I don't mind all the tracks on. The first one in the ranking that I thought was reasonably okay. And I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 6 out of 10. Coming in at number 4, we've got the 9th album from 1995, The Great Annihilator. Michael Jarboe, Bill Relfin on the drums, Agis Kizzy's bass, Norman Westgold guitar, and Clinton Steele guitar. First track on here is called In. As I said, I don't mind some of the shorter tracks. This one's okay. There's some nice bells again in it. I Am the Sun, got some really good riffs in it. It's a bit gothic, which I don't mind. She Lives, I think this is pretty good because the guitar keeps coming in and out and it does add to it. It's not too bad. Celebrity Lifestyle, probably one of the best songs I listened to while listening to the Swans. It's got a proper gothic new wave sort of sound and I really liked it. Mother Father, even though I've got used to their lyrics, their music, some of these are good musicians and this is one of them. Blood Promise, it's been remastered, it's quite eerie. Then we've got Mind, Body, Light, Sound. I love the drumming on this. It really works with this track and the guitar's pretty good. My Buried Child. Not too bad at all. Warm, second favourite track on here. It's actually got some atmosphere. Very eerie vocal. Love this. Alcohol the Seed. Excellent drumming. Some lovely keyboard tones on that one as well. Mother's Milk. Nice album. Lovely vocals. Where Does a Body End? A little bit bland. Not much going on there. Telepathy. It's alright. The Great Annihilator. Not a fan of this. It's just dreary. And Out. Very ambient. Love the bells. Lovely vocals on this. On the whole, I really enjoyed this album. And I listened to it all the way through. Twice. So I'm going to give it an RTO ranking of 6.5. Okay, coming in at number 3, we have the 8th album from 1992, Love of Life. We've got Michael on it and Jarboe. We've got Clinton Steele, Agis Kizzies, Vincent Sorgini on drums, Jenny Wade on the bass, Ted Parsons on the drums, Troy Gregory on the bass, Larry Seven does some bass, and Adam Jawanski does the narration on Identity. Now this is a really interesting album. This album has got tracks and it's just a symbol. So there's the symbol. This is number 1 and it's 17/7. It's got some wind chimes on it. Then we have Love of Life. I quite like this. The drums are good. It's a fantastic vocal. It's a really lovely song. Then The Golden Boy that was swallowed by the sea. It's ambient. I just don't understand why they didn't make songs like this from the start. It's really good. Then we've got number 2 of this Sign. Quite eerie strings. Then we get number 3 of this. There's more guitar on it and there's a little bit of dialect. Then we have The Other Side of the World. It's got a lovely vocal from Jarboe. Nothing wrong with this. It's my favourite track on the album. Her. There's a girl on here talking about, I think it must be Jarboe. It's talking about concerts, festivals. It's quite interesting, telling stories. The music to it's quite good. I don't mind that. Then the Song of Freedom. Second favourite track, and I love the construction of this. The spoken word is really good. Then we get one of these little brackets 3 dashes. I think. Don't know what's going on with this one. It's only 34 seconds. Amnesia. This really drifts in and out with some nice drumming on it. Identity. I love this. There's some lovely narration on it, and Jarbo's vocal delivery is one thing. Then we get the smart open brackets, 3 dashes, close brackets. This has got some vibraphone on this one, really good. In the Eyes of Nature, definitely got that alternative rock sound to it. It actually works. She Cries for Spider, loving backing vocals from Jarbo. Michaels, they sort of do complement each other when they do sing properly. God Loves America, not too bad. And then we get the little Jarbo thing with the cymbals again. Shouldn't have ended the album though. It's a pretty good album on the end, including some of them really weird interludes. Doesn't spoil the album, it's just one of the best ones I listen to. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 7 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 2 then. The 6th album from 1989, and it's called The Burning World. It's got Michael on it, Jarbo, Norman on the guitars, got Jason Anses on bass guitar this time, Virgil Moorfield on drums, Nicky Spoletis on the bouzouki. First track on this one is called The River That Runs With Love Won't Run Dry. Some lovely acoustic guitar on this. Excellent opening track. Let It Come Down. Not a big fan of this, but it has got some little bits in it. Then they do a cover version of Blind Faith's Can't Find My Way Home, and I think they do a good version of it. Jarbo's vocal is great on this. Mona Lisa, Mother Earth, what a really good bass line, and the drums, atmospheric as well. She's a Universal Emptiness, my favourite track on this one. I love the deadpan vocal from Michael, and the arrangement, excellent. Saved. Some great tones on the guitars on there. It's atmospheric, pretty decent. I Remember Who You Are, another great vocal from Jarbo, really nice voice that she got, like that. Jane Mary, Cry One Tear, another of my favourite tracks. The drumming, the arrangement, fantastic. Really like that track. See No More, there's a lovely echo on Michael's voice that really works. It's such an eerie track. God Damn the Sun, really strong arrangement. Love the vocal delivery on this. Apart from one track, I think this is a brilliant album. It's atmospheric, it's eerie, and I really enjoyed this one. So I'm going to give it an RTO ranking of 7.3. But the number one album for me is their 7th from 1991, White Light from the Mouth of Infinity. It's got Michael on it, Jarbo, Christopher Hahn, Clinton Steele, Norman Westberg, Jenny Wade's on the bass again, Anton Fear on the drums, Nicky Spoletis on acoustic and banjos and bazookas, percussion Vincent Signori, Han Rowe on the violin, and Steve Burr on mandolin. First track on here is called Better Than You. Now this starts off with a crying baby, really intro, the full instrumental, rolling drums, the vocals come in, they've got that complement of Michael and Jarbo. Very good track. Power and Sacrifice. This is brilliant. It reminds me, the vocal delivery reminds me of Robert Smith from The Cure. So good. You Know Nothing. It's got a lovely start on this. The vocal from Jarbo is wonderful. It's the backing vocal, it's so atmospheric. Song for Dead, fantastic vocal here from Jarbo. The acoustic guitars are just wonderful. We Will Survive, a lovely ambient sound on this. I do like Michael's vocal on this. There's little bits of acoustic and mandolin. Really nice song. Love Will Save You. The bass line at the beginning is absolutely eerie and atmospheric. The tones on the guitars, pretty decent, good track. Failure. The vocals are a little bit flat, but the music sounds great. Song for the Sun. Now, I would say this is probably the most commercial sounding songs of the Swans I heard. Really good, it's quirky, it's got some lovely use of mandolin on that. Excellent little track. Miracle of Love, great track, great guitars, ambience, one of the best songs I ever done. When She Breathes, a gentle track, brush drums, it's probably one of the most gentlest tracks I have ever done, really good. Why We Are Alive, brilliant bass line and drums, Jarbo's great vocal on it, superb little track. And the last track, The Most Unfortunate Lie, atmospheric. Michael's vocals is stunning. There's some great keyboards on this, which makes a great track to end the album. A really good album. There's not a bad track on this. I wish they'd have made more albums like this, because this is just a really strong album. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.5. So there we go. It was a tough one. I'm going to be quite honest. I don't like this band at all. Okay, the last 3 or 4 albums that I ranked are the ones that I would probably listen to again, but definitely White Light from the Mouth of Infinity is probably the only album I really like all the way through. But thank you, Zeb, for suggesting this. I do like going down these. I like a challenge, and this was a challenge. I might revisit them at some stage, but at the moment I don't think I will. Anyway, that's all for today. We'll be back tomorrow. We've got, I think, is it group? I've got to check. I can't remember where we are. We're up to Group F, and we're going to look at some iconic singles in Group F. And also tomorrow we're going to take a wander down the sidewalk, and we're going to look at the top 10 for the 14th of November 1991. So that's all coming up tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone, and bye for now.